Today, I'm testing out the new Canvas feature on ChatGPT for writing novels. I have never used this before, so I'm simply starting with what is Canvas? And apparently, it's just this space, kind of like documents and other models that allow you to write blog posts, draft email letters, create a short story, outline a project or guide, summarize things, script writing, character development, or story. It's a place where you can still do the regular chat, but you can also do additional things. So you can do the regular chat on the left-hand side of the screen, which you'll see, I think, in a moment. But also on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the document that is being created, edited in real time. I'm just going to try a few things out. Like first, let's start with, hey, let's write a short story about Halloween from a pumpkin's perspective, just because I thought that would be interesting. The story follows this pumpkin from being picked on the farm to being carved to sit on the porch, watching all the kids on Halloween. I just want to see how this tool does with simply writing a story. Now you can see on the left hand side of the screen, that's the chat function that you're probably mostly used to. And on the right hand side of the screen, you can see that the story is being created. It's a good story. And I think it's doing a pretty good job. What really becomes cool, we find out, is all the different editing and different features you can do with this Canvas tool. And I'm going to show you a couple of those things. And so now I'm saying, can you create a image? And it looks like you can create images within Canvas. And here we go. An image, a horizontal image of a pumpkin. I just used some keywords in there. I wanted to see if this tool, this new feature, Canvas, could make an image. And yes, you can make images. I think it's a fairly good image. I tend to use another AI tool right now to make my images, but that's not bad. Hello, this is Christopher from A Couple Days in the Future. I've been experimenting with this tool for a couple days and I realized it can do a lot more than I thought it could at first. And so I want to take this pumpkin Halloween story and show you a little bit about what it can do. You've noticed this sidebar here on the left. You can actually just ask ChatGPT in the sidebar to make changes. And you can actually do that in a couple different ways. But here's one of the ways. So you could say, make the story more scary. And it should go about changing this story here. You can see it changing in real time when this is working correctly, because there are some glitches. Sometimes I have to, refresh the page, go in and out of this Canvas tool because it's a new feature and there are bugs for sure. But you can see that it's making these changes, making it a scarier story. You can do that over here. You can also go up here and highlight part of the text. You can give ChatGPT some instructions here just with this first part. So let's try that again. Highlight, and you can say, make this more exciting. And it should change it. So it made it a little bit longer and it should make it more exciting. You can highlight the whole text over here. And you might have noticed too that when you highlight the text, there's a couple different things you can do. You can ask you to do something with the text. You can bold, italicize, and you can even change this content into heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, or a body text over here. So let's change all that back. Now there's some other cool things that I found you can do. Down here on this right-hand side, you can suggest edits, adjust the length of the story, adjust the reading level, add a final polish, which does editing and grammar checks, or you can add emojis. So let's just go through and I just want to show you how each one of these things work. This suggest edits, I think, is really powerful and really cool. And I want to show you how it works. So we're going to click on that and it's going to highlight different parts of the text and make suggestions. Now we're also going to adjust the length, keep the current length. You can make it longer, longest, or shortest. So let's see what happens when we just make this as short as possible. You can see the editing happening over here. And we just made this, it's still going to make it as short of a story as possible. Yep. And it's a lot shorter than it was. So very cool. You can make things shorter or longer, which is great for blog posts, articles, emails, query letters. Let's adjust the reading level, and we can go to graduate school all the way down to kindergarten. Let's do graduate school and see what this does with this silly Halloween story. It starts to use bigger words. It's increasing the grammar, the word choice. Very, very interesting. Okay. Now we're going to add a final polish, which I've been liking this one a lot, which does some final editing and reviewing. It's going to look through all of the content, make changes that it thinks are helpful with the editing, the formatting, grammar, spelling check. I think it's really a neat, neat tool. And then we have add emojis, which is something I actually haven't tried yet. So let's now add emojis and see what happens when we do that. Oh, see, look, it's adding it all the way through. That's actually pretty cool. This would be good for, I guess, social media, for text messages, for emails. I can see where this could come in handy. It's a lot of emojis. It's funny how it actually replaced some of the words with these emojis. I do like the emojis on the different headings. That's kind of cool. Adds a little bit of a visual pop. And then also another cool thing you can do is go to a previous version. Now let's switch gears. Now let's write a novel outline for a story. And I give it a little information, a premise, and now we have the outline here on the right. I think it is a really good outline based on the premise I gave. We have 3 different acts, a lot of detail. You can make things, as you've seen, longer, shorter. You can change the reading level. You can ask for more dialogue, more action, or less. And you can change it right there on the screen. You can change just paragraphs versus the entire scene. So I think that's really helpful for congruity and for line editing. Even if you just want to write your own scenes and then load it into ChatGPT Canvas, then you can also get some editing help. As you can see, we haven't been able to make it work, but if I can get it to work, I'll show you before the end of this video how it gives you different comments and you can apply that feedback to your story. But I think that's really a way to use ChatGPT more as an editor than as a writer. You can do both. You can do either or. Now you can see here I'm saying it's too short. Each chapter should be longer. And so it's going to go through and make each chapter longer. And I really like watching the edits being made live like this. It just scrolls or scans through the content. One of the things I also really like is because you don't have multiple chats, you can actually copy a whole lot of content in one go. So you can copy a blog post that's like thousands of words long. Instead of having to copy section by section by section, you can copy the whole thing, paste it into WordPress or what other CMS platform that you use. You can do that for novels too. You don't have to copy scene or chapter by chapter anymore. You can copy large chunks, maybe even the whole novel in one go, as you're going to see. We've now already gotten to the end of Act 1. I think the story is pretty good. It's still going to be shorter than I would normally have a novel, but you can see where this could work very well. And I think even make your novel writing with AI even faster. This is just the beta version. It's going to continually get better and better. Now we're going to move into and see how quickly this is happening. I literally wrote this whole novel. It's a short novel, so it's probably more like a novella, but I wrote it in less than 10 minutes. It was pretty impressive. We're into Act 2, Part 3 of Act 2. So it's a long story, but probably not the 80,000 words of a normal novel. Now we're going to Act 3, and there we go. We have the end of the novel. Overall, I'm super impressed with ChatGPT 4 Omni with Canvas. This feature works for writing novels, stories, blog posts. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.